Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back. So we are on to part two, or on to part two, yes, of Love and Marriage Huntsville season 5 reunion. So we're starting off. Remember, we left off where we had Kiki and Tisha talking to each other, and Tisha saying that Mel was using Kiki to try and comfort her. Kiki saying that I'm my own person, nobody's using me, I'm not a puppet, I'm nothing like that. So we're still on it. So Carlos asks Kiki, has Tisha ever brought up the fact to you that she thinks that Marshall is cheating? Kiki said yes. Tisha says no, I've never done that. However, they talk about a picture that was sent to Marsau's phone where a lady sent a picture of her derriere and Marsau liked the picture. So they were going back and forth. So Carlos was like, why would you do such a thing? Who is this woman? Whatever. So it comes to find out Marsau said it was somebody that he interviewed that just one day it just showed up in his DM and he responded with the words, a midday work surprise. Marsau tried to play it off by saying the key word here is surprise. I did not expect that to come. Carlos is like, how do you answer that? What made her feel comfortable to send you such a photo? And if Tisha found out about it, she sent a screenshot of it to Kiki. Like, girl, look at this. Look, what is this? How we gonna handle it? They did their research. They found the person, and she confronted Marsau about it. And she said nothing came of it because nothing happened. Because Marsau wasn't intimate with this person. She didn't feel that she needed to pursue it. The woman is the one who reached out to Marsau, Tisha said. And Kiki was like, are you sure it was just innocently reaching out to her, to him, or is there something behind it? So they went back and forth there for a little while. And again, Tisha's like, I'm sticking by my man. This is my man. I'm not leaving my husband. And I'm going to stick by him. So I think they finished with that segment right there. No, she said it was so long ago that it was over 14 years ago. And Kiki was like, girl, it wasn't no 14 years ago. Haven't they been married around 14 years, if I'm not mistaken? But man, you have these people on social media picking things apart. So on Facebook, I went into one of the Facebook groups and they were like, it could not have been 14 years ago because the function to like pictures, dislike pictures only came around, I believe, on in 2016 or something like that. So I'm not sure. But they were picking this statement apart. Marsau was cool and calm. He wasn't nervous or anything. So I just felt like, they were doing this as a filler to give Kiki her moment to actually address it. But like I said, Tisha's like, I ain't going nowhere, and y'all need to stop bringing me all these messages or what's going back and forth online, these made up accusations that these bloggers are putting out there on YouTube. So now we have Miss Wanda and Kiki going on at it. As far as Miss Wanda telling Kiki, you shouldn't have put nothing like that out there about your cousin. If you were loyal to her, you wouldn't be with the apps. She didn't use those words, but you wouldn't be with the apps and talking to Melody about your cousin. You shouldn't have gone to the party. And then come to find out, Tisha let us know that her and Kiki were on very good terms until she did go to that Christmas party with Melody. Now Marsau jumps in and asks Melody, when we came in, we talked to you about, Kiki's situation. Were we laughing about it, or was it a solemn moment? Melody didn't answer, so Carlo turned to Kiki and said, Kiki, was it brought to you in that way, that it was told, in a joking manner? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, so who brought it to you? And she was like, Melody. Melody told me that they were laughing when they said it. And Tisha was very hurt by that. She's like, I would never do that because, Kiki came to Tisha first with the situation. Tisha helped her get to her first meeting with the recovery center or the abuse center. The fact that she had to address that she had an issue. They said that Marsau was there for her Maurice brought up the fact that Marsau was there for Kiki. When she was going through her stuff and needed somebody to talk to, he would get up and leave his house and go be there for her and stuff like that. So for him to say something about her in a joking manner, then it's a bold-faced lie. And again, Marsau brought up the fact that I would never do such a thing because I understand the grave, it's a grave situation and it's nothing to be joked about. So all the time that they were going back and forth, Melody was just sitting there and listening. She wasn't really talking or saying anything. She wasn't defending the fact that, she lied about it, saying that it was told to her in a joking manner or anything like that. They even showed a clip where and Kimmi did it twice. They even showed a clip where when they were at the Christmas party at Melody's house, so the situation started outside where Kiki was actually talking about Tisha. You could tell all the other ladies just felt so uncomfortable. They were looking up in the air. They were looking down at their phone. It was just an uncomfortable situation. And Kimmi said to Kiki, maybe you should not talk about Keisha amongst this group. Maybe you should talk to Tisha face to face. So that was one scene that was deleted. We didn't see that scene, but we did see it in the kitchen where Kimmi said it to her again. She's like, maybe you should wait till Tisha is around to defend herself with all this. Don't talk about Tisha where she's not here to talk about it herself or to defend it herself. So all right, we left that there, and then we talk about Melody going live at the Madonna event. We all know that event that happened, where she said she approached Miss Wanda and they went back and forth. We saw it play out on Melody's live. We saw it play out on somebody else's live. And then we saw it on the show again. So Marsau said to Melody, why did you go live? Melody's like, I don't have to answer to anything that you're asking me. He's like, because Melody, when have you ever taken responsibility, accountability for anything ever? The fact that you went live, you didn't plan to go and have a civil conversation with Miss Wanda. You planned on having some confrontation and for it to go viral or something to that, he said. And Melody was like, that wasn't the case. I saw Bernard and I remember him talking about he's going to come for me or whatever. That's how it started out. I didn't go out there wanting to start with Miss Wanda. But we all saw how it played out on the show. So then Carlos asks Martel, because why Melody went after Miss Wanda about her talking about, the paternity of Sugar Mama. So he asked Martel, have you ever questioned the paternity of your little girl? And he was like, no. It's okay. They dropped that there. But then Carlos dug even a little bit deeper. He said, we have all come to the collective that, kids are off limits. And I've always said that on my reviews. Don't ever bring up the kids. I don't talk when there's scenes with the children where I feel it's not necessary to talk about. I just skip over it and I talk about everybody's because I don't want to, this is not the place or the platform. Well, there's never any situation where it's okay to talk about anybody's child. If you have a situation with the adults, the parents, that's who you address. You don't talk about the child. But to Miss Wanda's point, or to Marsau's point, no, it wasn't Miss Wanda. I think Marsau was able to explain it a little bit better. He said, even though Miss Wanda went on her live and said what she said, it was meant to be directed at Melody, but somehow Melody flipped the situation so that it seemed like the focus was on her child. So therefore, everybody was coming at Miss Wanda for talking about the child when her real statement or comment was towards Melody regarding the paternity of the child. So they went back and forth for a little bit. Maurice kind of calmed the situation down. He said, based on Kimmi's diagnosis, that he thought that everyone would look into themselves and see that certain situations or certain arguments don't need to go on. Let's drop the situation and move on with our lives. But that's not the case. They're still going at it. So they took a commercial, and then we had Stormi and Destiny join the stage. Carlos welcomed them. He's saying that, he got a lot of people tweeted at him saying that Stormi did not belong on the show, that this is love and marriage, not love and hip hop. They felt that Stormi was ratchet and that she didn't belong. But honestly, I do not feel that way about Stormi. I didn't think she was ratchet at all. She, her and Destiny have kind of around the same personality, so they clash. It so happened that's what was brought to us. And to Stormi's point, she's like, a lot of other things were recorded that day. However, it wasn't shown. There was a lot of things left on the cutting room floor. So Stormi defended herself. She's like, I'm not ratchet. I've worked hard for where I've been with no support. And for people to class me as ratchet based on that little bit that they see about me, it's not cool. So she was a little bit emotional. Carlos told her that, I don't think you're ratchet. And we all know that Stormi and her husband Courtney are coming back to the show. So he asked, how were you and Destiny? Now they both answered that they're good. And Carlos asked, how did you get to this point? They said they just talked and they realized that what happened at the Galentine's event was just an isolated incident. So therefore, they're good. They like each other. So that's where they are with it. Now, Carlos turned to Destiny and is like, listen, as also with you, a lot of people are saying that you don't belong on the show anymore, that it's time for you to leave because you don't want to share what's going on with your life with us. And Destiny point out there are certain things I cannot share with you because I'm legally not obligated to share with you. I think she's going through some stuff with her child's father or her ex-husband, and she can't talk about certain things. So he's like, are you in love right now? She has a big old grin on her face. She's like, yes, I am. And she says in her defense, there were a lot of things filmed about her. She says she would love to share what's going on with her on the show, but there was a lot of things that were filmed, and again, it wasn't shown. So again, it was designed to show that, I guess, to be the villain. You always have to have one of them on the show. So according to Destiny, if you show what was filmed regarding my life, then maybe people would actually get to know me a little bit better. So now Carlos pointed out to the fact that, and we saw it throughout the season, that Kimmi and Tisha is always trying to bring out the best in Destiny, getting her to talk, and stuff like that. And Destiny whispered under her breath, off camera, they don't show off camera or something to that effect. And Kimmi caught that. She was like, we try to pull it out of you on and off camera. And, this is a reality show. So if you don't want to show your reality, then this may not be the show for you. So then her and Kimmi started to clash because she was like, Carlos, ask me the question, give me a chance to answer it, because she was in the middle of answering a question. And then we have Marsau like, don't come for Kimmi. And that was how it ended. So yeah, that is part 2 of the reunion. We had a little bit of heated arguments among a few. Even Carlos and Martel got into it a little bit because, like Carlos said, he had to apologize to Marsau for showing a scene with his son where his son had a conversation with Martel, and Marsau was not privy to the scene. Like, it just showed up on the show. He didn't even know that part was filmed, and Carlos had to apologize to him, say, I'm sorry for doing that because, I didn't think there was anything wrong with it, but as a parent, you saw that there was a problem, and he had to apologize. So Martel was like, so what about our apology to me and Mel regarding the scene where Miss Wanda was talking about our daughter's hair? And he's like, but Martel, you didn't come to me about it and let me know that it was a problem. So, and then Carlos got kind of emotional. You could tell he was getting there. His voice is elevated and stuff. But Martel was like, all right, you're right. We should not. But when you came to us regarding you and Melody came to me regarding what Miss Wanda was doing online in light of Sugar Mama, we addressed it and we made sure that was taken care of. He's like, you're fair. So that was the scene between, the conversation between Martel and Carlos right there on stage with everybody else. And again, Mel didn't have a lot to say in this part 2 either. I'm guessing she's not going to do much in this whole reunion. I think there was a point where someone said, Mel pointed out she didn't even want to come and do the reunion taping because she is like kind of done with this cast. But I don't know if Mel can walk away like that and still have the impact that she wants to have online, because she's associated with the show. Yes, she has a lot going on. She has her collaboration with the clothing line. She has her collaboration with the makeup. She has her classes that she teach. She has her music that she's putting out. But even though she has all of that happening, I still think she needs to be a part of the cast. I mean, hopefully the show will still go on. I don't see why not. We have Tisha and Marsau stepping up. We want to see what happens. You know, are they going to build Scott Manor? We want to see Kimmi and Maurice with the first title company, black-owned title company in Huntsville. We want to see what happens with that. And like you said, it's a leading market because a lot of people are moving to Huntsville and surrounding Alabama. And we're getting kind of introduced to Stormi and Courtney. We're not too deep into them, so we want to know their story, what's their backstory and stuff like that. And yes, we want to see Destiny more, even though there is it's out there that Destiny may not be returning for season 6, but I would like to still see her and see, you know, what's going on with her. Don't just dismiss her like that. I think the cast is still fairly fresh, fairly new, and there's still a lot to know about them. So people saying that it's time for the show to be over. If Mel leaves, then the show definitely be over because there's no reason to watch. But I don't see that happening. There's still a lot of interesting people left on the show that I would like to see how their quote unquote reality works out, you know? So looking forward to see if there's gonna be a season 6. So that is the recap and review of Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 5 Reunion Part 2. We see where in the Part 3 of the reunion, we have Carlos being very emotional. And we saw a little clip of him talking to Martel. And it gets real, I should say. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on with that. They talk about Kimmi's diagnosis and how she has worked her way or is working her way through it. So it should be very interesting to watch. So, and then in a couple of weeks, we have Love and Marriage DC Season 2 starting. And we're going to see some new people in the cast. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of upset that Monique is not there, because that's the main reason why. That's one of the reasons I was watching it, because I've been following all of Carlos's shows since, you know, he's been on Real Housewives. So I was kind of excited that I was kind of excited that Monique would be, you know, coming. But as we know, she's not coming back for season 2. Maybe down the line we'll see her. And I'm looking forward to actually Ashley and Irena and all those other ladies. So it's still, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yes, I will be coming back with the review of Part 3 of the reunion. So until next time, guys, be sure to take care of yourselves and your families. Bye-bye.